Well, guys, I'm sorry for the delay. I had some technical issues here with my camera, so good morning to everybody. I hope you're doing well. It is Thursday today, so the day post CPI. Yesterday, we were actively trading here, and I'm expecting here to do the same today. Um, First of all, I would like to explain what I'm looking for on this chart, on this ES chart. Well, starting with the 15-minute, which is the clearest time frame that I can find here. So yesterday we had a drop to the downside. Price kind of rejected the weekly fair value gap here, and the daily fair value gap as well. And it started to retrace down until it found the 4 hour bullish fair value gap, which had just a tap here, and it's now being retested once again. It got retested with the news driver at 8:30, which was PPI, and as soon as it tapped, price came right away to the highs, which I will show you here. So I'm eventually expecting a low probability session here because I can eventually see price coming to the upside, but since we already took London highs, London lows, Asia highs and Asia lows, yeah, this session might probably be a low probability session with high resistance um, conditions. But the main thing that I'm expecting here is what you see here. So during the period of Asia, we started to build some consolidation here. Afterwards, we dropped down until 8:30. So I guess this is the manipulation which started in on London, and as soon as 8:30 opened, price just came to the upside, taking out everybody's liquidity here, taking out London highs, Asia highs. So I can eventually see price progressing to the upside, but yeah, I need to see some type of a manipulation to the downside inside this distribution first to be able to frame some kind of a long setup. Keep in mind that we are trying to get above this NWOG, which is, as you can see here, acting as a resistance here. These relative equal highs are done already. So these are retested already, so and purged. And price is now trying to get some kind of a support. And I believe that the NYAM session will be some kind of a hard drive because price needs to formulate some kind of a support to the upside. Otherwise, if we just run, it will be a hard train to catch, honestly. So I will mark the 9:30 open. So this is 9:30 open here. See how price came here below midnight open, but it gave us just a glimpse below midnight open, taking out these lows. It formed kind of an SMT as well. So price is now in form of a SMT with NQ. Let me just mark this. Yeah. Yeah, this is actually an SMT with an Q here. I'm just verifying it. So I'll put this here. And let me just mark OT levels just to see where price wants to eventually go. So see, price didn't even come to equilibrium. So it can eventually be a quick run to the upside, but I will wait until the 950 macro just to see if price really wants to go higher, or it will use the NY session just to build some support on price. So 950 to 1010 macro. So in order to buy, I would like to be below midnight open, especially probably here around equilibrium. It would guarantee us a safe entry, but this type of push to the upside does not guarantee us anything. So this is the first presented fair value gap here as well, right at 930 open. And I can also see price taking some time here, trying to run the end walk, run the first presented fair value gap. So yeah, it's kind of a hard read here. This is PPI lows, which are still in place, which can eventually, and this is also the 4-hour candle low and data lows as well. So notice that we have some kind of a trend line liquidity here, which price always tends to seek for. And yeah, now it's time to wait and see if price really wants to hold here in between 930 midnight open, and prepare itself for another run to the upside, or if it will just reject this area since it is an walk as well, and start to going down. That's the main question here, and that's what I will try to figure out in the next minutes. So far, the first presented fair value gap is being respected. So price keeps running to the upside. We are approaching 950. So the main bias is correct until now. I'm expecting eventually these relative equal highs being taken. So price did a nice run to the upside here. This is the pre-open high. Would like to see how price will react as soon as it hits. Looking at NQ and ES, yeah, we have some type of a similar job here. They're both digging to the upside. NQ is a bit stronger here as usual. So price is still going to the upside. I will mark another OTE level here just to see where price eventually can retrace to. I will take the larger one out since it is most probably that we won't get below these levels if price really wants to go to the upside. So notice that we don't have any type of news. We just had at 8:30 the PPI levels. So price tried to break out from the end walk. It reached back to the midpoint of it, but it is acceptable for price to come a bit lower. Let's see if it only wants to come a little bit lower or if it will just invert the the first presented fair value gap and try to reach for the lower side of price action, which would be this inefficiency here as well. All of this wick here, um, we can eventually expect at some point wicks being tested at least for 50% of it, but but I don't think that we will have that here today, at least at New York AM, unless we have a clear rejection of this end walk and the first presented fair value gap. So 3 minutes before the macro. So nice reaction so far from the midpoint. This can eventually be our Judas swing, this mini swing that we have here. Let me just check the 3 minutes, the 2 minutes, and eventually the 1 minute. Yeah, so we are entering 950 territory, which is the time of that window time where the macro happens. So a new high is formed on ES, just like in Q. So notice how price didn't even came for the first presented fair value gap here. It is just marching to the upside. So on the 1 minute, this we can consider a order block. The last unclosed candle here. So let's see if this one holds price or not. So these areas are always tricky to play because price is getting out of something. In this case, it's the end walk. And yeah, sometimes price can be here for a long time. Then eventually it makes some type of a breakout. And eventually the breakout continues for some more time. But suddenly, boom, boom, boom. So this is the type of structure that you don't want to to face whenever you're playing a breakout. So that's why I'm a bit cautious here because I'm not certain about the the willingness to price to make this trajectory without any major retraces. The thing that I would like to see is some type of a retrace down. It could be a violent retrace and then a displacement to the upside. Then I would eventually engage with price. But if price just keeps creeping higher without giving any major retrace, yeah, that's kind of hard because at any time you will face a big red candle, and I don't want to expose myself to that. But so far, the the plan that I had for these relative equal highs uh, is working. The plan is working. The only thing that's missing here it's some kind of an entry here. Um, we could eventually have taken this first touch on the first presented fair value gap, but we were outside the macro time window, and yeah, we're just testing inside the yen walk. So looking looking at it in hindsight, I can say that yeah, there's not a guarantee entry here. You can eventually see this candle as a breaker here when we formed a new low. This could eventually be the breaker. You had some type of a retest here, but yeah, that was not enough for me, honestly. And I'm fine if price really just creeps to the upside without giving us any type of chance. But it is what it is. I'm not. I don't like to enter in a market which is in a premium already because we are above 8:30 open, 9:30 open, and midnight open. We are trying to get rid of a N wall as well. So yeah, price can eventually creep up to the upside, but things can suddenly turn red. That's why I'm not willing to play this market if it still continues to the upside like this. I don't like these type of structures, honestly. It's like diagonal accumulation where you have three candles to the upside, two to the downside, three candles to the upside, two to the downside, and the level where price is it's not changing that much. Honestly, we are not moving that much. Yeah, eight handles. It's not that much. See, this is the type of things that I would like to see before entering any type of position, because if I were along now, I would be praying for my stop loss. Honestly, see, this is this is this is what I was talking about. Now I would like to see some type of a reaction from this candle, and only after that I would consider something. Let me just check the OT level. Yeah, it came right at equilibrium, as you can see here. Notice that price came as well to this breaker here that I was talking about some minutes ago. Well, if I had to consider any type of position, yeah, I don't like how the stop loss is that big. I don't like that. I would rather take something just like this, but securing my entry a little bit lower. If I execute my entry here, I would have to have my stop loss at least below the midpoint of the first presented fair value gap, and I have to consider that I would probably be in drawdown for a long time here if price really wants to come a little bit lower, but I don't want to miss that move to the upside. Yeah, that's not how I like to play, honestly. Let's see if we can have some type of a deeper retrace in order to consider shorts. I would like to see price lose the first presented fair value gap. Then I would change my bias to a lower number eventually and not seek for these relative equal highs. But if price really holds here inside the NWOG above the first presented fair value gap, then yeah, we should consider higher prices. Let me just check the 3 minute here. Yeah, it should be permissible for price to at least come for the first presented fair value gap here on the 2 minute as well. So let's wait. I will take out this order block from here. So far, this one is working as a inverted fair value gap here. So it would be perfect to see price coming down here, spike a little bit, come to the upside once again, and yeah, this would be the ideal scenario here. So let's see if we can have the scenario A or scenario B, which would be something like this. So price comes down, retraces a bit, but the end wall, the midpoint of the end wall starts to offer some resistance. It comes down once again, and yeah, that would be eventually another plan. Olá, Tiago, tudo bem? Obrigado, pá, obrigado por seguires, obrigado por seguires as lives. Eu também vou tentando falar devagarinho inglês e assim todos nós compreendemos e a coisa fica um bocadinho mais fácil. Um, mas sim, obrigado pelo teu apoio, pá. E vai aparecendo. So yeah, for those who don't know me, I was talking in Portuguese, which is my native language. I'm from Portugal and I'm streaming from Portugal as well. So yeah, I'm curious to know where are you guys from? Those who are watching me, where are you guys from? Well, so far price really came for the equilibrium of this app lag. It didn't give any chance to come a little bit lower. I was waiting for something a bit lower, but we didn't get the chance to. And meanwhile, ES and Q are doing not symmetrical things. If you see, and Q is a bit weaker here. It kind of rejected it. It kind of rejected this fair value gap here, and it's now displacing to the downside. While ES it's still here. So this is why I said that we are probably in low probability environments. Remember when I told you at the first minutes of the stream that London highs and London lows are already taken, such as Asia highs and Asia lows are already taken as well. So whenever you have a market where these highs are already taken, yeah, you can expect some low probability environment, and you have to be mindful about it, and you have to have that into account to manage your positions and yeah, everything that's about risk management. Sim, Tiago, sou português, pá. Eu presumo que tu sejas brasileiro, não é? Tiago, escrito com TH, a sua live. Mas é a mesma coisa, pá. É a mesma coisa. Português, brasileiro. É tudo a mesma coisa. Portanto, opá, olha, obrigado por apoiares, obrigado por marcares presença também. E qualquer coisa que não estejas a perceber, diz-me que eu explico-te em português, sem problema. Está bem? So yeah, NQ a bit heavier here. It's not showing the willingness to get above this fair value gap. So I presume that if NQ gets heavier and drags price to the downside, eventually ES will follow. But right now, as you can see here, the macro is not giving us anything as well. So it's just a barcode here, nothing else. We have some type of an SMT here as well in between NQ and ES. So this is the SMT. So yeah, right now things are getting a little bit more cleaner. There we go. We have displacement here. Price really waiting for the final end minutes of the macro. Mm. And really displacing. Yeah, but nothing was, as you can see here, nothing was that clear to me, honestly. It's just a barcode, and now we have some displacement to the upside, which can mark um, the last minutes of the macro just to reach these relative equal highs here. I was expecting for price to come a little bit lower here. It didn't give us that lower retrace that I really wanted. So I might miss this move, but it was quite well read, so I'm fine with it. So this is the fair value gap, the bullish one, that eventually will be left as a breakaway gap, or we can eventually take a retrace here and boom, seek to the upside. Let me just check here. But yeah, nothing so enticing as you can see here. This is a 1 for 2 or 2 for 1. Yeah, risk to reward. But yeah, nothing is that much. Um, Nothing is so enticing to see and to enter. It's nothing. Yeah, the risk to reward is not that good, honestly. Yeah, this should be the low hanging fruit. These three highs. This should be the easiest targets here. Yeah, I was watching here. I was quietly watching what price did right before the 9:30 open. And if you look closely, you have some type of a small consolidation box here, some minutes before the open. As soon as price opens, yeah, we got some type of a double manipulation, but the actual manipulation is here to the downside, as you can see here. I will mark this as manipulation. This should be accumulation. And as soon as it ends, we have the distribution to the upside, which I believe we can expect it goes to these relative equal highs here. At least, at least. So this is another power of three. This is another AMD. That usually happens whenever price is really doing some type of a range or a consolidation the minutes prior to 9:30 in the morning. So yeah, this is another way to really see what price is doing. So we are still here in the air in a premium zone. But as you can see, price is really not giving us that many chances to interact with it. So price slowly grinding to the upside, still inside the 950 macro just delivered something, but yeah, honestly, it if you look into it, it was just 10 handles, so nothing. Nice push here to the upside. and some handles more, and we will reach relative equal highs, which were the main draw on liquidity for this session. Yeah, it could have gave me the entry here, somewhere here. Yeah, but honestly, I was searching for something lower, some kind of a retrace lower here. It didn't happen, so I just missed the chance, and that was my ultimate chance to get into this train. I will not try to interact with it uh, while it is still grinding to the upside. Let me just check the 2 minutes since the open. Yeah, the 2 minute has nothing here as well. The only thing that could eventually work was this retrace to the midpoint of the UN walk, but that would be some type of an aggressive move since price was already in the premium. But yeah, these relative equal highs are taken. So the bias was once again correct. The plan as well, but yeah, I didn't find any entry here just to play with the market. It would have it should be an aggressive entry, but yeah, I was not in the mood to be aggressive, honestly. Yeah, I guess we had two opportunities here, honestly. Um, but I was waiting for something deeper as a retrace here because if you look into this, yeah, price just tapped the equilibrium of this first leg. I was waiting for it to come somewhere near the first presented fair value gap here, but it didn't work, so it is what it is. If I had to if I had to take something here, I would have I would have to have my stop loss somewhere like this. And this would ruin my risk to reward, honestly. I was searching for something like this. Yeah, it didn't came. Or two handles, yeah. It didn't came that low just because of two handles, but it is what it is. And then the second opportunity was here, but price didn't give us the retrace that I was looking for, so no chance to get in once again. But it's all right. You don't have to be able to get into the stream, get into the trade every time. You just have to accept it that sometimes it is not possible to. So you could eventually entered somewhere in the 15 second, but the 15 second is an aggressive entry. Yeah, you have a tap here on the first presented fair value gap. And yeah, you have another chance here, probably. Well, what can I expect from price now since we already reached the I'm sorry, the low hanging fruit, right? So if I project price, you can do some measure of projection here. And if you look into price, we have some confluences here. So price is now above -2 standard deviation. It can eventually go a little bit higher or -2.5 standard deviation. And as soon as we hit -2 2.5, it can eventually start some type of a retrace, or it can continue to the upside, since we are still managing the weekly fair value gap. We still have these lows here, these highs, which are kind of suspicious. And if you zoom out here, if you take some some measure of zoom out, you can see that here once again some type of consolidation, manipulation to the downside here. And what can you expect next? Move to the upside, taking out these highs here, these highs here as well. So you have another way to look at it. This is the sell side of the curve, and then you have the buy side of the curve as well. So these are different interpretations for the same thing, honestly. The price really reached the target that we were looking for, and right now we just have to see what it wants to do next. Um, the most logical thing should be some type of a retrace, but in markets like these where bullish PD arrays are being left open, yeah, we can eventually expect some continuation of this run to the upside, at least at -2.5, and eventually a little bit further into the 3 and maybe 4 standard deviation. But yeah, it was a nice read of price. The only thing that really annoyed me was that, yeah, the retrace was not that deep enough for me to get triggered in by a long here. I was waiting for price to come a little bit deeper into the first presented, but unfortunately we didn't get it. So yeah, we just have to accept it. And now wait for something to happen. We have to keep in mind that our bias is still bullish. These relative equal highs were just the low hanging fruits of the movement. So, and yeah, and remembering you what I've been telling you these last couple of um, streams. Whenever you have a macro that initiates a move, you can eventually expect that move to be active until the next macro. So if you look into the next macro, which is the 952 1110, and since price is so clean right now, I can eventually expect price to continue its way to the upside until 1050. So we have about more 25 minutes of this upside move. That's what I'm expecting eventually. So nice move here as well. So yeah, price is still moving to the upside here. This can be one of those days where every fair value gap is a buy opportunity. At least until 1050. Because if you look into the 4 hour, you can see that we are inside of some type of an expansion to the upside. And whenever you have a expansion to the upside on the higher time frames, you can eventually expect that every bullish PD array will hold and eventually will drive us to the next um, buy side liquidity point. So let's see. Let's wait for 1050 to 1110 macro and wait to see if we will have some type of a reaction to the downside or not. So let's see if these highs can eventually hold or not. These, these fair value gaps here. Yeah, see, every bullish PD array is a buying opportunity because we are in some type of a buy side program. ICT talks about it. I'm not the best person to teach you about it, but yeah, he talks about buy side programs, which is a one sided move with small retracements to the downside. And yeah, it's if you don't if you don't catch the movement right on its first steps, it will be hard to get in. Otherwise, you will have to be some type of aggressive. Oi, Tiago, olha, eu estou a fazer as duas coisas. Como é óbvio, não tive a oportunidade de entrar hoje, mas normalmente opero live e vou dando umas dicas, como se diz aqui em Portugal. Vou dando umas dicas, umas notas sobre o que vejo e vou também partilhando um bocadinho o meu conhecimento, digamos assim. São essas coisas. O fundamental desta stream é isso mesmo, é partilhar convosco algum conhecimento, pá, e fazer o meu trading à vista de todos, basicamente. So there's nothing we can do right here. Price is just stretching to the upside. It already reached minus 2.5 standard deviation on ES. So this is a point where if you are long, imagine that you are long from somewhere here. This should be a place where 80% of your position should come out here. Otherwise, you can eventually face a hard retrace to the downside. But since we are so bullish today, and since every bullish PD array is a buying opportunity, since we are in a buy program, yeah, I still think that the movement will stretch to 1050 and something can eventually happen at 1050. So as you can see, only green candles, no deeper retracement here. Yeah, price continuing higher. Vamos ver se. Let's see. Let's see if price really wants to continue to higher until 1050. At this point, it really should, honestly. Really nice move to the upside, honestly. But no opportunity to interact since it was some type of a one-sided move. If you look into the 15 minutes on ES and on in Q as well, they are reaching for a bearish 15-minute fair value gap. Um, so it can give us a retrace to the downside, honestly, but I would not recommend you to go short on that retrace because it can be a quick retrace to the downside, a harsh one, violent one, but very quick, leaving some kind of a tail or wick behind. So sometimes those retraces are so quick that you are not able to do much, honestly. So looking into all this bullish leg here and waiting for some type of a retrace to the downside, it would be nice to see price come around these levels here. And I presume that only only New York PM session will give us something like that, or eventually looking at the looking at the bigger time frames, it really doesn't seem like it, honestly. Looking at the 4 hour, I cannot see price coming down below just to get back above once again. Let me just check the 1 minute, the 1 hour, just to see where price can eventually go. Yeah, that would be a harsh move to the downside if price really comes right next to -1 standard deviation. But it can happen, honestly. I've seen a lot of things already, so yeah. But right now, this is just um, a one-sided move. We could not interact with it. The only thing that we could eventually do was this entry here, which was not that enticing, honestly. But yeah, Tiago, opá, olha, se quiseres umas dicas, tens é que eventualmente pôr legendas ou algo do género. Tu podes ir ao canal para aprenderes. Podes ir ao canal do ICT, é mesmo ICT, é a mesma coisa. Epá, ele tem lá tudo e mais alguma coisa. Podes começar por explorar aí e, epá, e vais aprendendo devagarinho. Ele tem lá muita coisa, são muitas horas de vídeos, mas foi aí que eu também aprendi e foi aí que desenvolvi depois o setup e tudo mais. Podes tentar procurar por aí. Está bem, Tiago? Well, I was saying to Tiago that he can eventually search for ICT on YouTube and yeah, get all those concepts from him directly from the source. It has he has a lot of videos on YouTube. Some of them are quite exhausting to yeah to see and to watch and to hear. But yeah, that's the source of it, and he gives you a lot of details that um, some people can't even figure out. So that would be great for Tiago, and that's a very good point to start. So 1050 and price is still moving to the upside. As I was saying, and as I told you some minutes ago, this move should be expected to move from one macro to the second macro because yeah, bullish PD arrays were respected in a very clean way. Um, some of them were not even touched or retraced to. So price action was very clean, one sided, and whenever you have a price action like this, you can eventually expect that price will start to move at one macro and will eventually fade out in the next one. So I'm expecting here at 1050 two things to happen, or it will continue or it will retrace. It usually does something like that. So I will be here for some more minutes, and yeah, let's see how it will. Tiago, vou postar aqui contigo, pá. Vou pôr aqui no chat e depois já dás uma olhada dela. Espera aí um bocadinho. Pronto, aí tens tudo, pá. Aí tens milhares de vídeos. Não são milhares, mas são 700. Um, se quiseres começar, o mais fácil para começar, se calhar é uma playlist que ele tem que é o 2022 Mentorship. Vou-te pôr aqui para tu veres. Se começares a partir daqui, depois a partir daí consegues ir buscar mais coisas e se te focar só nos conceitos dele é o suficiente, é mais do que suficiente. São um bocado complexos, mas acho que é do melhor que há. So 1050 is in place. We have a time window of about 20 minutes to see what price really wants to do next. If price really wants to drive a little bit higher, since we have a weekly fair value gap here as well. This is now acting like a magnet, or if price will save this for later and first drive lower, trying to retrace a little bit after this impulsive move to the upside. So notice how price stopped right at the beginning of the macro. This is not coincidence. This is programmed. So as you can see, 950 to 1050, one-sided move. Yeah, these are all things that you should know and that you should expect whenever price is really that clean. So for those who are watching and just hit the stream right now, we said at the beginning of the stream that our bias was bullish. I was waiting for distribution to the upside. It really came, but there was no opportunity to get into a trade. I was expecting price to come a little bit lower here. I was not in the mood to play an aggressive entry here with this done close candle. But as soon as I saw this SMT, I knew that I could have missed eventually the move to the upside. So yeah, it was kind of tedious because I was expecting a lower, just a wick was enough for me, just to come a little bit lower here until the first presented fair value gap. Yeah, but it stopped two handles away. I mean, one handle, yeah, one handle away. And yeah, as soon as we started to come to the upside, um, that we displaced and oh okay, I will miss this move. I will not put myself in front of a train with probably no brakes. So yeah, I don't mind to miss this opportunity to the upside since there is no clear entry here. Than to put myself in front of a train with no brakes, and a train with no brakes can eventually go without limits, or yeah, it can eventually get out of the rails and yeah, and give you a deeper retrace, and that would uh, eventually trigger your stop loss if you decided to. I don't know. Imagine that. Okay, I'm 100% sure that we will move to the upside. I will take my, I don't know, I will take my entry right here, and yeah, where should your stop loss be? right? You should have about three PD arrays to protect your stop loss. So this fair value gap should be the first one. This order block should be the second one. And this fair value gap should be the third one. So yeah, it makes no sense for me to play with a stop loss that big in these type of conditions. So that's why I decided to stay on the sidelines and just watch and observe and learn from it. Because a sometimes a large stop loss can eventually consume you a lot of mental capital. Because whenever you have a small stop loss, imagine, just imagine that you have a small stop loss and your stop loss is right here. Imagine that. Now imagine that price is not doing this, right? And it really came here, but as soon as it came here, it started to fall down, retrace back into the inverted fair value gap, and okay, it stopped, and you got stopped out, right? Now imagine what would be to have your stop loss somewhere like this. The same thing. Price really came here, but then it went down and started to move lower, lower, and then once again to the upside, lower once again to the upside. Imagine the all the mental capital that you would waste here waiting and praying for price to come to the upside once again. Yeah. That's why I don't like to play with larger stop losses because sometimes it is necessary, but yeah, it will waste your time. It will drive you nuts, honestly. So see guys, price stopped right at the next macro as we anticipated. Price is also right above minus 2.5 standard deviation. So right now, it should be, in normal conditions, it should be a time where we should do some type of a retrace. Why? Because we already had a macro to macro movement. Usually, I'm sorry, usually the 11 time and the 11 hour, 11 a.m. hour, it's a time where the market starts to retrace and to eventually punish everybody who's making money after the 9:30 open. So I'm expecting a retrace. I will not engage with that retrace because my main bias is still bullish, and I believe that we will still go to the upside. That's why I will not engage with shorts because yeah, these shorts can eventually pay. I'm not saying that they cannot pay you, but yeah, it can eventually be something like this, taking a lot of time. And whenever I'm in a trade, I would like to see something like this, low resistance, and not that down, 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 down. Yeah. So that's why I'm not engaging with that type of shorts, because whenever you engage with the opposite bias, um, yeah, you can eventually encounter some downside movements like this, but suddenly, boom, there comes a green candle and another upside, and in 5 minutes it does the triple that it has been doing the last 15 or 20 minutes. So that's why I'm not convinced to engage in shorts. Well, and for those who are asking, will you not take this long if you are still bullish and if you are right? Because okay, it's still in the macro. Yeah, the only reason why I'm not taking this continuation, this eventual continuation, is we are already deep in premium. I don't like how far we are from the midnight open and 8:30 open. Um, that's the reason number one. Then the reason number two is that we are um reaching for 11 a.m. and 11 a.m. It's that time in the day where things can go a little bit tricky, and it usually is a retracement. And yeah, we already hit minus 2.5 standard deviation. So um, the majority of the up move is done here. So we can eventually pick some more. Yes, we can, but it will be only some more and not the entirety of the move, or not more than 50% of the move. So that's why I'm not willing to interact with it. Nice reaction here. See, uh, this is just a buy program. It's every single bullish PD array is being bought. So I'm curious to see if these bullish PD arrays will also hold, because sometimes these are yeah, price seems to be very strong on one side, and some minutes after, these PD arrays are used for a reversal. So I will I will have that in mind and will observe it. I don't believe that's the case, because I'm still bullish, you know. But yeah, sometimes it can happen, and since we are at 11 a.m., it is just a possibility. Interesting. Price really came to this fair value gap. I remember that, I don't know, 2 3 minutes ago I told you that sometimes these PD arrays can eventually be used as inverted PD arrays for some type of a reversal, especially when price seems so strong here, you know. But let's see. Yeah, right now we are above minus 2.5 standard deviation. We are some handles away from the weekly fair value gap here. We are definitely in a premium right now. If I take a measure of the highs and the lows, yeah, we are in a deep premium right now. So at this point, I would not engage with any type of longs. I think it's kind of risky to play or search for longs here. I guess if you miss your opportunity here, it won't be better here somewhere in a premium. Yep. Price is still some type of indecisive here. Yeah, price really really stopped here at 11. Um, it can eventually go a little bit more to the upside, but at this point, I would only engage with longs after seeing some type of a manipulation to the downside. So I won't interact with the market when it's just giving me upside. It's not giving me any manipulation to the downside, anything that we can work with to enter some type of a long position in a one-sided uh, market. You need to be a bit more aggressive, I guess, and I'm not willing to play that aggressive way. Yeah, but so far the read of the market was top notch once again. Yesterday it was a great read as well. Um, and today the same thing. I was expecting a bullish move to the upside. Um, it really happened here. It really happened. The only thing that was missing was the retest inside the first presented fair value gap. That would triggered my move my long position, my long setup, and yeah, I could eventually get long somewhere here inside a macro. That was what I was expecting. Yeah, but it didn't happen the way I projected it. Because yeah, um, price stopped right at, as you can see here. If I take a measure of the first bullish leg, it stopped right at equilibrium here. You can see this white line, and I was expecting price to come a little bit lower, in between 0.62. It didn't happen, unfortunately. But yeah, see what I told you here. Um, Usually when price does something like this, right at 11, that's always a trap, or almost always a trap. These PD arrays, these bullish PD arrays, usually are used for inversions and for some type of retrace mode. They are just fake outs. So yeah, I will mark this as an inverted because I'm sorry, because it will be inverted and price will start its retrace to the downside. So everybody who tried to long here, rest in peace, because it didn't work. And I was telling you that, and we're telling you that it will probably not work. So see, retrace happening 11 a.m. It shall be a quick move to the downside and violent one as well. So this is now a breaker. This last candle here, it's some type of a breaker. If this breaker holds here, this bearish one, we might go lower. So inverted fair value gap as well, because these two, I believe we will. This one will be harder. So yeah, at this point we have some type of a short setup. I believe that we will eventually retrace to this fair value gap here, but I would not engage with this type of setup because I'm bullish for the day, so that's why I'm not engaging with shorts. Nice displacement here to the downside. See, like I told you, this should be a quick move to the downside and a harsh one. See, and it should give us no follow through as well. So keep that in mind. A nice move to the downside here. Was a fast move to the downside, just like expected. But yeah, playing these type of shorts, these type of setups are is always you have to have in mind that your main bias is not represented in this position, so it can eventually trick you into taking some actions that you might not uh, anticipate. So that's why I prefer to wait for something to give me another long than to risk myself into something that clearly is just a retrace on the higher time frames. so far. It will probably dig a little bit lower than equilibrium. But yeah, guys, I guess I guess we are done for today. Let me just check how long I'm here. 2 hours. So it is a time in the morning where everybody should um pack their things and end the trading session because it's past 11 already. It's almost 11:30. So yeah, it was a nice session. The bullish move was anticipated. The bearish move was anticipated as well. So yeah, the read was there, honestly, but the execution was not that clear to me. I was kind of afraid, I guess, for taking a long here somewhere, um, because price was not giving me the retraces that I wanted to see. But yeah, it is what it is, and we just missed it. It's okay. It's not it's not a big of a deal. It's just one trade out of hundreds or thousands. So that's not a big deal. And as you can see here, the short will not last long here. As you can see, that's why I was not able. I was not able. Not I was not willing to take it as well. So I knew that it would be a quick move to the downside, um, but having no follow through. So I'm expecting price to stay here for a bit, waiting for probably the next macro, and then keep rising to the upside. That's what I'm waiting. Or eventually it can retrace a little bit deeper, trying to reach for this fair value gap here, which is located in the 62% area of the OT levels, or eventually lower. The first presented, but yeah, for now what I can see is a continuation to the upside. And that's why I did not open any short position here. Uh, so yeah, I guess that's it for today's action. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you're not subscribed yet, yeah, just hit the subscribe button. I will try to be here every day. Um, Give it a like, a thumbs up as well. It will help with the engagement. And yeah, I guess see you tomorrow at the same time as well. In between 9:15 to 9:30. I will be here with you guys, trying to share some knowledge and yeah, alert you for some type of setups or something like that. You know, it's not financial advice, of course. It's just for education and entertainment purposes. But yeah, so thank you once again, and yeah, guys, see you tomorrow. Have a nice afternoon with your family, with the ones you love, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Thank you.